I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo,
and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, good evening, tennis fans. We're here to talk about the ATP Tour Finals. That is right. 5 places so far have been taken, but there are still 3 places remaining. And we're here to talk about who they are going to be, because I'd say there's probably 5 main contenders for the 3 places, but there's still a couple of people on the cusp. Maybe they could sneak it, but it's all down to a couple of tournaments remaining. They're playing 2 of them this week, and there's Paris Masters coming up next week. JG, are you excited for the ATP Tour Finals to start with?
For sure, I'm excited. I love the event massively. We've already seen some real high-profile names announce they're going to be definitely playing. We're going to get into that in a moment. So this podcast is going to be just talking about who can qualify, and then we're going to give an overview and a preview of the event. We will do a more official one closer to the event, but this is just one to wet your whistle and get yourself excited for the race. Well, for the ATP Finals in Turin. It's no longer in London. So let's start off with who has qualified. And as you can see, this is a good tweet. Let me just make it a tad bigger. So we've got Alcaraz, the world number 1. He's in. We've got Rafael Nadal. We've got Casper Ruud, Stefanos Tsitsipas, and Novak Djokovic, because he's in the top 15 and he won a Grand Slam this year, being Wimbledon. So that gives him automatic qualification. You look at the other names, like Ben mentioned, it's between 5. You could probably make a case for, I don't know, up to 8. I don't think it goes really further than that. Maybe 6 or 7 at a push. But these are the main 5 who are fighting for their space at this year's Tour Finals. And that is Daniil Medvedev, Andrei Rublev, Felix, who has just been amazing. I mean, back-to-back tournaments for him. He's going for a 3rd right now, so watch out for him. Indoor hard courts is probably one of his best surfaces. I know he's good on the grass, but he's winning the titles on the indoor hard courts. Going into this event, you've got to say he's the most informed player on the tour on this surface. So you can't ever rule him out at all. Taylor Fritz, he's not doing too bad at the moment. Hubie Hurkacz, who I believe has got a few more points than this because he was able to defeat someone very big. That's it. Francis Tiafoe in the past few hours, who was my finalist for that event. So I've had a complete mare there. But Hurkacz, if he can go deep in, is it Vienna?
Hurkacz is in, I believe it is in Basel.
No,
sorry,
right.
It is in Vienna. Sorry, apologies.
Okay.
I've got both of them open at the moment. I'm going through both the draws.
Yeah, no, it definitely is Vienna, and Hurkacz was able to beat TFO there. Cam Norrie also beat Cashin, and he's one of the ones on the fringes. I mean, if he's able to go and win Vienna, then Paris Bercy, then he'll be in. But it's not going to be that straightforward for Cam Norrie, is it?
Close match with Cashin as well. It wasn't as easy as you might have thought it would be. Won over 3 sets there, did Cam Norrie. And it doesn't get any easier. He is, well, maybe one more game away from potentially playing Andrei Rublev. And it's another person who is fighting for that race to Turin as well. Rublev probably, I'd say, a bit better on these indoor hard courts than Cam Norrie. But it would be interesting to see Cam Norrie getting back. I know that last year he did sort of sneak in there and had a really good year. I mean, I don't think we can overlook how consistent Cam Norrie's been. I just don't think indoor hard courts really his like ballpark really, but no. Who knows, really, in tennis these days?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it was in America, maybe he'd have more of a chance. But we've got David in. How are we doing, David? Shout out to you. Did a great stream yesterday with Draper Alcaraz. And he's saying, if Felix meets the results of Fritz and Hubie, he'll qualify. Needs to keep the consistency, though. I think he will, but it's not normally in his character. And yes, that is a good point from him, because we know in the past his character has been a bit in question. Let's be honest. He made so many finals. What was it 8 or 9 finals and lost them all?
Yeah,
but now he's winning stuff. He's winning stuff. Is this a new Felix? I've already said I think he's the most informed player right now on tour on this surface. I think he's going to have enough. And before we get into the preview of the ATP finals, me and Ben are going to give our predictions on who we think will qualify. And I think we're going to do one at a time. So I'm going to go with the obvious one, and that is Daniil Medvedev.
Yeah, I think that we're both sort of in the same mind here. I've got a feeling that he's probably going to beat Dominic Thiem, even though Thiem did very well to come back. He managed to save a match point against Tommy Paul as well in the final set tiebreak. But I feel that Medvedev's a different animal to Tommy Paul. So I think that Medvedev, after that Thiem match, should be able to go through this tournament. And we both have him winning the tournament. So I'm expecting him to do so, though.
Are you able to bring up the live? I know you had it up a second ago, and I'll just share that on the screen for a moment.
The draws?
No, just the live
race.
The live race.
Sure.
I don't know if you still got it. There we go.
Yeah.
So let's just have a look at this, because I'm interested to see with Andrei Rublev what he got last year. So he's defending a round of 32, right, at Vienna.
Yeah. So
no, it doesn't matter what he got last year, does it? That's completely out of the. Sorry, guys, nothing to do with that, because it doesn't. But that's the overall rankings that would affect. With this, it's just how far he can go.
Yeah. So at the moment, you can see he's not that far behind Medvedev, really. So I think that they could potentially clash, if I'm right in thinking, in this tournament. And that could be a real... I always say that Medvedev will have his number anyway. But if there's something more on the line, who's to say that Andrei Rublev might not turn up the heat?
He's just demolished Schwartzman, though. I think he's going to be fine. Rublev for me, the next one, he's going to be fine. He is my number 2 in. So both Russians for me are 80%, 90% sure they're both qualify.
Yeah, you got to remember we've got Paris Masters, and Medvedev is, well, he's last year's finalist there. So I'd expect him to go deep in Paris as well. I fully expect Daniil Medvedev to be there. Rublev, yeah, I would expect Rublev as well. I expect him to have a good Paris as well.
He's good on the surface, Rublev and Medvedev as well. So Medvedev, you've got to be honest, last few years, he's been the best coming into this period, and the one feared the most, more than maybe Djokovic.
Yeah, possible.
So, yeah, that's definitely for me. We both agree on that. The third spot, Ben, we've got 3 names there to choose from. 4 if you want to include Norrie. I'm not including him, though.
Wow.
So out of them 3 names, Hubie Hurkacz, Taylor Fritz and Felix, 1 space up for grabs. Who is going to get it? And this is where it gets very interesting, because there's not that much between them. And Felix, credit to him, because of his recent success in them 2 events, he's catapulted himself into this position, because I was almost certain it was going to be Taylor Fritz.
I was going to the Hubie Hurkacz side, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, we've both gone sort of different ways, and Felix is sort of thrown in the middle, a cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. Yeah, I think there's still something in my head telling me Hurkacz is going to make it. I don't know why. I feel that result today,
big one,
showed something really positive from Hurkacz, and I've got him in the final of my bracket for that event. If he does that, I think that Felix could go out earlier in this event. I think both of us thought that could happen as well.
Yep.
If it does, tables turn again, and then we find ourselves with Hurkacz.
Well, imagine Felix draws a Djokovic second round in Paris and goes out early here, and Hurkacz has a relatively nice draw in Paris. Well, Fritz has a nice draw. They're both. You got to remember, all of these players are still playing at the moment. I know you got some draws up, so maybe you can take us through some of that.
Well, this is where Felix is in his draw. Kecmanovic just finished. Wow, he actually did beat Fokina in the end. That's a great result for him. That will be potentially the next opponent for Felix. He'll have to get past Huesler first, which is no easy matchup. Let me zoom that a little bit.
Actually, no, I think I didn't have him going out early. You do.
I do. I have him going out to Kecmanovic.
I've got him winning the whole thing.
Oh, really? What, 3 in a row?
Yeah, I've gone 3 in a row.
I forgot that you had him.
I think on that basis alone, I thought that's right. Because now you're bringing up these names. I think it's all winnable matches. It's not a bad section at all for Felix.
So after that, it could be. We've got another tournament winner down here as well,
but
though.
Massetti's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna follow up that. I feel like he's just a bit. He is Felix of old, where maybe not though, because he's already just won a title, which is pretty amazing.
So is Huesler.
It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I think Felix is going to have enough for this section, and that is why. Listen, there's maybe people are going to call me boring, but I think the three who are going to qualify are them three: Medvedev, Rublev, and Felix.
I think we need to put a little bit of respect on Huesler's now. I know that when we had Gene in the live chat, he was saying that he thought Huesler could knock out Felix. And if we remember just recently, Holger Rune, who's just gone on and beaten Tsitsipas in the final, Huesler beat him in a final recently. So he could still be in relatively good form, could knock out Felix. Who knows? It's an interesting matchup. It's not a good little section if you've got tournament winners. We've got 3 recent tournament winners all in one little section. So, and then moving on.
Like you're definitely not picking Felix, then, are you, for your third spot?
No,
I don't mind the section.
I'm not. I told you I'm going more towards Hurkacz. I don't know. I know that that's probably that. Well, that's in the other tournament. This is Basel, as we just alluded to. If we go down here, Hurkacz. It's not an easy section. We've got Coric, we've got Tsitsipas, but I think
no, it's horrible, mate. He's not getting out of that. If you're
tough.
comparing the two, Felix is definitely better than Hurkacz is.
Yeah, it's definitely better, but I think Hurkacz can still do it.
You've bottled it big time.
Why is that?
You've got it wrong.
Yeah, but we've still got another tournament. It's not just on this tournament.
Mate, Hurkacz is getting Djokovic second round. I just know.
Look at this. So we've not spoken about Fritz yet either. So Fritz Chapeau. Do you reckon Fritz is going to go out here and this is going to ruin it?
I actually prefer Fritz to Hurkacz.
Wow.
I would go Felix, then Fritz, then Hurkacz. That's why I'm surprised.
You're a bit of a Hurkacz hater, I feel.
I'm not. I just don't know what you're doing, to be honest, because I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, I've got him in my final. You're going for somebody you've got as a winner.
The thing is, I'm going for my bracket, and you're going for your bracket, so it makes sense. But I just don't think your one's going to come true. It never does.
Well, if my one does come through, he's going to have to go through the ringer. I think he's going to have a time on TFO, Rusevori, potentially Tsitsipas, and then potentially, well, maybe Fritz, mate. It might be a battle between the two.
That could be fascinating, because if we do get Hurkacz Fritz, then that is like a bit of a shootout.
Well, what about if we get
to the ATP Tour Finals?
Medvedev and Fritz Hurkacz.
I think Rublev, Medvedev have enough, though, man. They don't need to gain too many more points.
No, I think you're probably right, but I just like the narrative.
Like Medvedev at Paris is so good. Like, he's not gonna. If he makes quarterfinals, he's in already.
Yeah, I think he's so good. We've got to never disrespect Daniel Medvedev and how.
And I've also think he's gonna win Vienna. Or
well,
Basel.
we both, yeah.
I forget which one he's in.
This one is Vienna.
Vienna, yeah.
Yeah. I know it's difficult when they're two good tournaments playing at the same time. It does make it slightly more tricky to remember which one is which. But yeah, going over to the other one. I mean, Buster, I don't think that he's going to stand a chance. I mean, I think he might even go out to Stricker next round, if I'm perfectly honest.
I think Alcaraz takes him.
More than likely, he played great against Draper. Well done to Draper, by the way. I thought he played fantastically against the world number one. Unlucky, still not looking great in like long matches, but I think that will come with time.
I was just looking on the buttons, Ben. We don't have the little fade to the next section, do we?
No, that's not on there. Sorry, sir.
That's a shame, because I love that, because now we are going to the second section of the video. That is who we think is going to qualify. So just to confirm, I've got Medvedev, Rublev, and Felix. So 5, 6, and 7. And Ben is going for 5, Medvedev, 6, Rublev, and number 9, Hubie Hurkacz. Lucky number 9 doesn't exist, does it?
Not really, but yeah, number 9 Hurkacz is somebody who can trouble Daniel Medvedev, and I always think about that when I think about
Rusevori's got him next round.
If that happens, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, it's Rusevori.
I mean, Rus, I believe in that guy.
Let me hear. Say my name is Rusevori. Let me hear.
There we go. Just a little intro of it. That's the man who I think is knocking out her catch.
No, mate, never.
That's enough of that one as
That is
well.
enough. Right, okay, we're
Right, let's move on to the second section. And this is one I've prepared myself, so you know it's going to be brilliant. And the first one I want to bring up is something, no PowerPoint, but it's something very interesting. I know Ben wouldn't know anything about this, but some fascinating news for the ATP Finals. The singles final of the ATP Finals has been pushed back by 2 hours to avoid a clash with the rescheduled opening game of the World Cup. It took the ATP 2 months to make this change, yet they are refusing to offer refunds for any ticket holders who now cannot attend.
Boo.
First off, I'm very happy they have changed it to avoid a clash with the World Cup. I didn't realize it was all going to be all on the same day. So we're going to have the ATP Finals final on the same day as the start of the World Cup. So I'm glad they've moved that away from each other. The only problem is, surely they should be offering refunds. There's still enough time to sell tickets for it. So just offer people refunds who paid for a different time. I mean, that's the least they should do.
Rude,
quite frankly, it's an absolute disgrace from the ATP that they're not offering the refunds. And I mean, this tweet, when was this? Is this like an old one? It's not that old, 6 days. So let me know if anything's changed since. But they should definitely be refunding the ticket holders because they've just changed the time. People bought them tickets thinking it's this time. If they change it, offer a refund, surely.
And people don't take into consideration how much other disruption this will have in people's lives. People have jobs. People have to book holidays. People have to do things like that to be able to get the days off to go on that particular day. Might have had to have an argument in their office. I need that day off. It's the tour finals. I need to be there. And then suddenly they've moved it. So they got sacked from their job. Their manager hates them. And they couldn't even go in the end anyway. So it was pointless with all this work for Rory going on. What do you reckon?
I'm just looking forward to this day. I think it's going to be mad. I'm going to get on the beers from 10 a.m. ATP Finals and then the World Cup. I'm going to be up the pub, I think, on this one. I might have to call in from my phone.
Nice.
But yeah, looking forward to that massively. The next one I've got, of course, is the biggest news of all news ever to come out in tennis. And Ben, we know he's not a big Rafa admirer. He always has something snide to say. But the king of tennis is confirmed. Rafa Nadal will play the Paris Masters and the ATP Finals.
Phew.
And here we go. Look at this. What a beautiful sight of him. This was at Paris, I believe. Was it last year? I'm not sure when this image was taken.
It's nice, though. I like that image.
Yeah, and listen, Paris is a great event. I mean, we've always covered it.
I think
it's one I enjoy a lot.
I think they could have titled this picture as a sort of walking into the danger zone, because we know that Rafa Nadal has won neither of these two tournaments.
Ooh.
So this could be like,
well, we got talking tennis in. That's a bit of a cheap dig there, John. Don't let him have it.
Come on, John.
Oh, he wasn't at Bercy. No, you're right. So maybe it was the year before. I think the year before, is that where he had the 1,000 matches and they gave him that big?
Yes, that was amazing, wasn't it, on the court? That massive 1,000 on there.
Oh, there we go. John knows his stuff. Talking tennis, a lot better than us. And apparently this image is 2019. Maybe John took it himself. We never know.
Yeah, I thought his hair looked a little bit more full.
So looking at the next one, this is quite fascinating. Does anyone else hope Djokovic is in Nadal's quarter at Paris and in the same group at the ATP Finals? About time they get to play on hard courts. And listen, we've not seen them play on hard courts for some time now, right?
No, we haven't seen them. I can't even remember the last time that I saw them play. I know you asked me earlier, and I just thought, was it like about 4 years ago?
Well, the one I can think of was ATP Cup. ATP Cup, they played on hard courts together.
Definitely
they did. They played against each other on the ATP Cup. So that was the most recent one, surely. But let me know in the live chat, guys. When was the last time Djokovic and Nadal played on a hard court? I'm
Well,
pretty sure it's the ATP Cup when Djokovic smashed him. When was the last time Nadal beat Djokovic on a hard court? That's probably a better
2013.
question.
I knew that one because I remember it as a stat from when we first started doing the podcast. 2013 was the last time he beat him, and that was at the US Open over 4 sets. So he hasn't won a set against Djokovic since then on hard courts.
This is the year. It's been a special year already, Ben.
Maybe it is. Who knows? I will never doubt Rafael Nadal again. As you know, after the beginning of this year, I had Rafa. I was worried about the injury. I saw the crutches. I thought, well, maybe he's going to drop down the rankings. He's going to suffer with injuries. Guess what? He's not. He's going to play the best year that I've seen him play in so long, and won the Australian Open, won the French Open, and looked incredible at Wimbledon as well. So what do I know? I know absolutely nothing.
But I would have to say, I do think Djokovic beats Nadal if they play in either Birdsea or the ATP Finals. Doesn't mean I'm going to be a bit interested. I don't know, a bit slyly fascinated. That's probably the right word. Extremely fascinated to see it. And I will be cheering on Rafa from the top of my lungs. I just hope he could do something. I think it would just be so special for him to beat Djokovic this year on a hard court after everything he's done. Like, that would be a massive achievement, because all of Noel fam, everyone on Twitter, they're all going to be continuously saying, oh, Nadal stands no chance. And I just want to see their reaction if Nadal was able to beat him. I don't think it's going to happen, personally. I think Djokovic is too strong on this surface. And Nadal, I don't think he's coming into this in great form. I mean, watching him at the Laver Cup, I know he probably just flew in last minute just to be there for Roger, but he looked a bit suspect.
Well, as you're talking about form, I just want to quickly touch on somebody else who I know that you've sort of had some strong words when we were around the US Open. I mean, it was to do with, and you said something almost to the words of, if Casper Ruud becomes the world number 1, it would be a travesty or something like that. Something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I did say that.
Words. Yeah. Well,
I think it would be a travesty for tennis if he becomes world number 1.
Well, at the moment, having him at the World Tour Finals may be a bit of a travesty as well, because his indoor hardcourt form doesn't look particularly good at all. And I don't know if he's going to really put up much of a competition. He's lost to Nishioka. He's lost to Munar as well on hardcourt. And now he's lost to Wawrinka today in straight sets. And Wawrinka, I know he's good, but Casper Ruud, come on. You're supposed to be the new breed. You're up the top now. You should really be beating someone like an aging Wawrinka, surely. But I don't know. Like, maybe this isn't. Is he just another sort of Rafael Nadal doesn't like the indoor hardcourt type?
Is he another just Rafael Nadal? Just Ben, just get out of this stream. You're an absolute disgrace to the tennis community, and I want to disown you from this moment on. You just talk absolute nonsense.
He doesn't like the back end of the year.
Just like another Rafael Nadal. Listen, as people are saying in the live chat, and I need to just emphasize this, Rafa is one of the greatest hardcourt players to ever play the game. He's just unfortunate. He's come up against arguably one of the best in Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer.
Indoor hardcourt player, though.
Well, maybe not on.
But we're talking about indoor hardcourt. I'm not talking about anything else.
Hard courts.
No, I'm talking about
hard courts.
Yeah, but I'm talking about indoor hardcourt coming up to the World Tour Finals. That's all I'm talking about.
Look at this. That's talking tennis. In 12 Travel 21. Rafa's most impressive tennis was at Acapulco in 2022.
Yeah, outdoor hardcourt.
He's
incredible. Indoor hardcourt, we know he avoids a lot of the tournaments because he doesn't particularly do very well in them.
Well, let's have a little look. So ATP Finals, advancing past the round robin stage. So once they've advanced past the round robin, this is their record. So Roger Federer, 16 wins out of 17. Wow. Just honestly, wow. Novak Djokovic, 10 out of 14. Still pretty amazing. Rafael Nadal, 6 out of 10.
I mean,
it's not as good, but it's not terrible. I mean, Nadal was one of the greatest hardcourt players to ever play the game, and that is often ignored, and he's just disrespected for it. I know people are saying indoors totally different, and granted, that is his worst surface. But he's had a great year. I mean, Australia's his worst Grand Slam. He's won it this year.
I'll go as
beat Daniel Medvedev. He's
I
pretty
would-
good, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's better on indoor hard court than Rafa. That's what I mean. Like, but I would go as far to say Rafa, yeah, he is. He's not only just one of the greatest hard court players ever, he's one of the greatest players ever, obviously. But
Greatest.
well, up for debate, obviously, from lots of people around the globe. But on indoor hard court, he just hasn't really. I don't know how many tournaments he's won on indoor hard court in his career.
One.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Rafa won.
Yeah, well, isn't it just one tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that statistic on its own just speaks volumes. He's obviously not good on this surface, and you can understand why. And it caters for big service. So you could look at it in another way that yes, because he wins via actual tennis means, not via serving his way to victory. That you could say that Rafa's tennis is like more beautiful to watch maybe than just watching someone like a Zverev pile drive aces down on his opponent for the whole match. But that's here nor there. That's just a different game on indoor hard court. It doesn't matter how pretty a game is. That's why people like Hurkacz do so well on indoor hard court. Doesn't have a very pretty game, but it works.
Yeah, I'm just having a little look now actually on this indoor tennis tournaments, just to have a look at some of them, which ones there are. Dallas Open. I mean, some of these don't think they're even playing. Laver Cup, Madrid Open, which I believe that's the one he won. The Open 13, which is in France. Paris Masters, Rotterdam here. Just reading Stockholm, Swiss Indoors, which is on right now. There's not that many events. That's basically what I'm trying to emphasize here. So it's not like just saying because he's won one. It doesn't come around that often. That's what I'm trying to emphasize.
No.
So the indoor hard court scene's not a big part of the tennis calendar. Still, the biggest event, some could argue, in the ATP Finals is played on it, and that is why I think that's ridiculous. I know it's this time of year, and it makes sense. The end of the year, you're not going to be able to play on a clay court, but maybe they could do an indoor clay or something.
Maybe
it would make it a little bit more exciting.
Indoor
grass court, anything different. Listen, I don't want to see the same surface. Why should the ATP Finals be played on the same surface every year? It's unfair.
And does that mean when you get to that debate, when you look at greatest players of all time, looking at tour finals, when certain players are better on one type of surface, like if you're a great hardcourt player, you're obviously going to win much more, or an indoor hardcourt player, you're going to win much more tour finals than somebody who's not a good indoor hardcourt player. It's just obvious, surely. But they're not going to change it, are they? They've come this far.
I hope so.
It's going to be too little too late.
Travel 21 says, play it on an indoor ice rink. Something different, at least.
Wood.
So we got Oleg in. This is a good tweet. So the undefeated singles winner of 2022 ATP Finals will earn a record $4.7 million in prize money. So if you go all of the way through without losing, you will win just shy of $5 million in prize money. The undefeated doubles duo will earn a record of just shy of $1 million. And the overall purse is a record $14,750,000.
Whoa.
Like, just insane, isn't it? Look at the prize money for an alternate with no matches.
What?
So an alternate who doesn't play gets £150,000.
Well, remember there was that whole thing, wasn't there, last year when they were just talking about players just going to. There were some players who were potentially injured, and they were like, "I'm definitely going to make my way there. I'm not missing out on this opportunity."
Don't blame them. I mean, look, 0 to 1. So if you just, I'm trying to work this out.
Lose one in the round robin.
So if you lose one, if you win one,
0-1. If you lose your first match, so you don't. These are people who actually play. You play one, lose one, you get 160 grand.
You play one, lose one.
Yeah, you play two and lose both.
You're never going to play just one, are you?
No, but that's what I mean. But you might go off injured, so you might get replaced. But that's what I mean. If you lose all three,
okay, get it. Yeah. So if you play one, lose one, 160,000. So it's better if you're not bothered about playing, sit on the bench. You get 150. It's only 10 grand more if you lose one.
Oh, lose
If
three.
if you can lose another one, and you're in the money, 240. You lose three. Wow, 320,000.
Having a great time out
You
there.
win one. Look at you. You're half a million.
What? This is just. God,
It's absurd. Like it really is. I mean, where did they get all this money from?
I have no idea. Hopefully, it's not the taxpayer. Just
But yeah, just absurd money. And here you are with free love in the round robin. And you win the whole thing without losing anything. Win the semi-finals and the final. 4.7 million.
wow.
Like,
I mean,
if you can get out of the group and just get to the semi-final, you're sort of in the money.
well, Medvedev did that recently, didn't he? Didn't he? Didn't win a one in his whole other one. Then he didn't lose one for the whole of the next one. Was that right?
Who, Medvedev?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he went unbeaten,
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's obviously not the same prize money, but it's the same.
and he beat everyone as well.
Yeah.
Like, team when he was great.
Well, that Team Rafa match was one of the best matches of the year.
That was
I
good.
thought.
Yeah,
It was
I enjoyed that.
incredible. Yeah, like so much drama and
The
such a high
Djokovic
level.
team one was good as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
And the
reason-
Medvedev against all of them was fun.
Yeah, the
But
reason.
no,
that
hopefully we get some really good ones this year as well. But I just thought it'd be interesting to show. I mean, it's a crazy purse for the Tour Finals, and whoever can get there, there's a big incentive to. Like we're talking about them players. Hubie Hurkacz is going to be desperate to get there, I'm sure.
Yannick Sinner, maybe. I don't know. I think he's a bit far off.
He didn't play enough this year and did a few disappointing results.
Yeah,
But let's move on. So this is record in the ATP Finals year to date. So a minimum of 3 played. So 3 events. So you got Rublev with a record of 4-0.
4-0. Is that right? Oh no. Does that mean actual finals of just ATP events? Or
Record in ATP Finals year to date. I think this is
sure
just finals.
Yeah, I don't think that's for the. I don't remember him doing too well in the ATP Tour Finals. It doesn't say Tour Finals though, does it?
I don't get it. What finals
It says-
Djokovic lost this year then?
God, I don't know off the top. Of
I
my
mean, I
head.
don't really understand this. What is the explanation? What is the what is the
What are these equals? One.
what's the equals mean?
I don't know, mate. I don't know where you've drawn this one from.
No, I thought it was a good one, but I just cannot understand it at all.
think you've done a me.
No, I think it's where you lose a final. Like, yeah, so Rublev's played 4 finals, won 4 finals. Fritz won 3.
Where did Djokovic lose? Which one did he lose? Oh, there you
He
go.
lost
Belgrade.
Yeah, he did
There you
lose
go.
one. Belgrade.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't think. Alcaraz has lost 2 finals.
Got bageled in that one. He
Felix
covered
has
that
lost
one. Yeah, that was earlier in the year, though, wasn't it? Long time ago. So yeah,
where it's equals, they've won as many as they've lost, probably. I don't know.
I still don't understand the relevance.
I don't know what the
of this.
equals is.
Yeah.
Can't say they've never made a final. Rafa's not made a final this year. Ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to move on from it. I don't even like it.
Yeah, I don't even understand why that one's in there. Get that one out of here.
Well, I don't have any more. So
Oh, okay.
that was it. That was the one I was going to spend some time on because I thought it was the record in Tour Finals, but it was a complete shambles. Anyway, last thing to say is stay tuned on the channel because we're going to be covering as much tennis as we can. We've got Paris Bercy we're going to be doing quite a bit of. And of course, the conclusion of these big events in Vienna and in Basel. So you don't want to miss that.
Something else as well. Obviously, coming up next week is going to be the Women's Tour Finals as well. So we will be doing a preview. Now all the places are confirmed for the Women's. That'll be coming up later this week. So make sure I'll schedule it early so everybody can make sure they can set a reminder for that one.
Maybe the weekend, Ben.
That's fine. I'll just get it out. I just want to get it on there just so that everybody knows when it's going to be happening. It's a big one and we want to make sure we give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah, exactly that. If you want to see who we have qualifying, go back to the start of the video. But if you've already seen it, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon for more tennis action.
See you later, guys.